Hi everyone, and welcome to the Libby Writes Stuff vlog. My first vlog, nerds. This is incredibly awkward, but gotta push through. Gotta have the YouTube in my arsenal as well as the freaking TikTok that I was forced to re-download because no one likes Instagram anymore. And long form is a dying art, apparently. Even though I thought it was coming back a little bit, people are getting a little sick of the doom scroll. I guess that was just me. For those of you who don't know, my name is Libby Daniel, and I am a not yet published author, and I have a blog called Libby Writes Stuff where I basically just talk about what I'm reading, what I'm writing, and pretty much anything in between. Talk about all kinds of stuff, my hobbies, crafting, gardening, anything in between. So putting it into video form to reach a few more people and to spread the good word about the written word, Another thing that I have in my writosphere author space thing is a brand new, my dog just is insisting on making noise today, is a mailer that I will send you with basically a postcard with a little letter from me, a few writing prompts for you, a recipe card, and a few stickers. And my first batch just came in today, and I'm so excited. That was awkward. So this is the monthly mailer card. I don't have the recipe cards yet, but there will be a recipe card slightly smaller. There you go. Little QR code goes right to my blog, obviously. Then your writing prompts, you'll get 3, and you can send them to my email, and I will read them and give you feedback if you want, or, I'll just read them to read them. And then I got some fancy little stickers. Some reader themed stickers. I will probably order a lot more, and we'll do some holiday themed stickers and everything, but these are some cutesy little reading stick. This one says, drink coffee, avoid people, read books, and it's got a skeleton on it. I almost stole this one for myself. I did take 10 stickers out of here because I wanted them. So yeah, that is the it's called the LWS Club on Patreon. I'll link everything that I'm talking about pretty much will be linked in the description box below, but the subscription is ran through Patreon just because it's, easy to organize, and you guys know Patreon, I know Patreon, and reputable, all that good stuff. So that's where the subscription and the membership, so to speak, is through Patreon. So if you're interested, feel free. It's monthly. I will mail them out on the 1st of every month. Yeah, could be a pretty good time. So that's housekeeping stuff. Now, on to the actual fun stuff, the stuff that I really actually want to talk about. And that is my current reads. This is my lovely Kindle. I love my Kindle, but I think the part that I love about Kindle is the fact that I can read it. Oh, my Kindle needs to be charged before use. Whoops. So, I can read it here on my Kindle. I can read it at home. I can pick up my phone and it tells me where I left off. I can read it on any computer. I just log into Kindle Online. That it just makes it so much easier to read to me, and I get through books a lot faster. But I mean, obviously, nothing compares to a physical book. But what I'm reading on my Kindle right now is Dungeon Crawler Carl. It's It's good. Better than I thought it was going to be. I'm about 70% of the way through it, I think. I don't know if you heard that, but my dog just farted. Oh. I did not, when I told my husband about it, my husband likes to play video games. So when I told him about it, I was like, I'm reading this book called Dungeon Crawler Carl. It's about like video games and stuff. And he was like, yeah, I kind of figured. And I was like, what do you mean you figured? I just told you the title. I didn't tell you anything about this. He goes, well, a dungeon crawler is a type of video game. And I was like, oh, okay. So this is actually like full on for the gamers, which I'm still relatively new. All I can play right now is like Stardew Valley, and I can kind of very poorly play like GTA. So that's my foray into the gaming world. But this book is actually really cool, and I don't think that you really have to know a lot about gaming to kind of get into it. It was almost like it's not anything like Ready Player One, but it's that same kind of like, you don't really have to know about gaming. You don't really have to know about like the sort of niche topics that it talks about, but it's kind of cool. I think it would be pretty cool if you were like a full-on gamer and you read it and you were like, oh yeah, that's pretty sick. So there's that. My bedside table book. And I purposefully pick really boring. I shouldn't say boring, because none of the bedside table books that I picked were inherently boring, but I think wordy would be a better description for it, and more like, I don't know, just not as like modern to the point where you know how sometimes it feels like now it's catered to your attention span and it wants things happening bop 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 quick. I'm reading A Song of Ice and Fire is what I'm trying to get to. It's not boring. It's wordy, and it's easy to fall asleep to. Not in a bad way at all. Like this series, like I'm only 2 books in. This is A Storm of Swords. This is the 3rd book, and I am like 2 chapters in. This is starting to become one of my favorite book series. And it was already like my favorite show, because I watched Game of Thrones many, 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 many times before I ever picked up A Song of Ice and Fire. Some ways I'm very glad that I did, because I can read it half asleep and still know what's going on and still understand where I'm at in the story. Other times I'm like, maybe I should have read it first, because there's a lot of very, very, very different things happening here. But I digress. Great storytelling. Really fun. So far, reading Sansa's POV is my favorite, because I relate to her a lot. Then my sort of, I don't know, this one just kind of floats around. Well, I say floats around. I've only had it in one spot, and I read half of it in one sitting. I mean, it's not a long book, but it's Tender as the Flesh. If someone tells you that this book is disturbing, believe them. I slap my chest. I love disturbing shit. I love reading horror books, like spooky shit. I probably shouldn't curse, should I? It's my favorite genre. Scary fantasy, scary sci-fi, scary. I like to be scared when I'm reading. I'm not one for jump scary horror movies, because it's like, I don't know, it should be more artful to me. Scary movies need to be like, I don't know, you can't go to bed that night thinking about it, but not in like something's gonna pop out of the dark corner and jump at me kind of scary. It should be like this disturbed me to my core scary. And it's just, I just can't watch movies that are all like scary makeup, scary monster, and it lurks in places and jumps out at people. Not my thing. Scary books, they're all like that. Because you can't really write a jump scare, you know? So you gotta be more artful with it. I like to be artfully scared. Anyway, that's what I'm currently reading. Oh, and I'm listening to the full cast Harry Potter books right now. I just started The Order of the Phoenix, and they said that the Half-Blood Prince is slotted to release on the 16th of April. Very much looking forward to that. That was one of my favorite books. My favorite Harry Potter book is The Prisoner of Azkaban. Favorite book, favorite movie. Then The Half-Blood Prince. Both favorite book, favorite movie. Second favorite book, second favorite movie. Fuck. Now, the writing. I said I'm an author. I mean that. I've written stuff. I have a book written. I am just deeply, deeply, deeply in the throes of first draft editing. And I'm trying so hard not to rewrite. And I feel like that's probably like a universal thing that you're like, if I change this, then I feel like I got to go back and rewrite the whole thing. But I'm really, really making it a point to not do that. It's like when they tell you on multiple choice tests, your first answer more than likely is the right answer. It's when you go back and second guess yourself that you start getting questions wrong. So I'm kind of trying to adopt that mentality, except for where it really, really needs to happen. Like if I see plot holes and stuff, because I will write the entire thing out first, then go back and edit it. So I, a lot of times, have a vague ending in mind, but most of the time that's not even what I write. So I kind of have to go back and make sure that everything fits. And grammatical errors and stuff like that. Which, if you know me in person, I am the grammar police when it comes to like even just conversation, and it's incredibly annoying to a lot of people, and I try not to be so anal about it. But if you find a grammatical error in one of my books in the future, if I, become published or whatever, and there is something in there that first of all, if there's a silly error, there won't be. If there is, it wasn't my fault. Second of all, if there's something that you don't agree with, I was right. The Oxford comma is right. The em dash is right. It's all right. And I will stand by every decision that I have made. So don't even bother trying. Plot holes, tell me about it. Flaws and any other sort other than grammatical, tell me about it. I will take the criticism. I will not take criticism on grammar. And you can thank my mother for that. She's an English teacher. So, that being said, first draft edits for my first manuscript. And it's taken a lot. I'm looking at it right now on my coffee table. That's why I'm like looking this way. It's almost done. And I rewrote the first chapter the other day, which is something that I really wanted to do even before I started. Like, I wrote the first chapter, moved on to the second chapter, and I was like, yeah, I need to rewrite that. So that will be happening. That has happened. The edit for that will be happening soon. As soon as I am done with, I'm looking, it's probably like 50 pages left. Almost there. Then the typing the edits into, because I did physical, I printed it out, wrote all of my edits in red pen and used an orange highlighter. So I will not miss anything. I will not. Mark my words. $100 to the person who finds a grammatical error. Maybe. Don't take my word for that. Maybe. Anyway, I also have another project going. And this one is a lot less. This book that I wrote it's more serious and, for adults and all that good stuff. This one, the new one that I started just, drafting. It's a little less serious and could be, I think it's going to be a YA, not fantasy. I will not add to the noise, I promise. Not that anyone coming out with a YA fantasy book is adding to any kind of noise or whatever. Like, it's just, to me, I feel like I'm not, I don't know. If I were to do it, I have so many examples in my head that I feel like I would fall victim to writing of the same crop. I would be following the basic formula. Enemies to lovers, shadow daddy stuff, the basic, everything feels like you're reading the same book over and over again, except for the golden few. There are some, and then there are the original, like, enemies to lovers, the ones that started it all. Like, those are good. But I feel that if I were to join in that parade, I would not be. I don't think I would have enough creativity with it to not just throw something out there that's just more white noise. So I will not foray into the fantasy world yet. Sorry if my voice is a little shaky. My pollen allergies are not letting me talk very clearly for very long. My eyes are watering like a ton, and I've been coughing in between cuts, so just know I'm like, my throat is fighting for its life. So that's I was so off topic. My new project, probably YA, is gonna be like, I took a lot of inspiration from Gilmore Girls, specifically season 1 and season 2. It's like the only real like similarity is private school and it's got a lot of characters that are main characters per se. One of the characters is a girl who moves to this school starting sophomore year. That's it. That's where the similarities end. So, and the mom is chill. Of this girl, the mom is chill. Sorry, my nose is running now. So, we follow her. We follow a boy who's, gonna be like her interest or whatever, but they're extremely competitive for being like the top of, well, I say like valedictorian. I know that's not really determined until graduation, but like top of the class, the number one person in the class. Others not interested in school, interested in sports. Others, rough family lives, but at school that they don't really. I just want it to be like a universal teenage experience, but in that it's set in 2003 right now, and I'm planning on following them through the end of high school. So probably looking at 3 books. That Y2K kind of like vibe right now that's really in. And I don't know, if you're reading it as an adult, bringing you back to how you felt in high school, where oftentimes it's the worst, best years of your life. not reliving it, but kind of reminding you how that felt. And then if you are in high school, you're bound to relate to one of them because they're all going to be vastly different. And yeah, but it's, the fun like vibe of it all that just ties it together. So that's what I'm working on right now. Yeah, those are pretty much the only two projects that I've been working on. And I want to write short stories and do practicing and stuff like that, but I've just been I've been really, really into the second project lately and drafting it that I just, that's kind of my practice for right now. I do have all of the short stories that I've written are on my blog, which, like I said, linked in the description below. Those I just do for fun. I've submitted to a couple of literary magazines in hopes that I could hear back, but I have not. And I don't really take it to heart because it's kind of a long shot. I'm not a short story writer, and I don't know. But they're fun to do when you're like in the mood for it and everything. So if you want to read them, they're there. There's short stories and some flash fiction. Just, if you want to check it out. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just going to remind y'all about the mailer if you want to. It's pretty cool to get mail, I think. I love getting mail. I love getting mail that's not like bills or ads or whatever, like actual like cool mail, stuff that's got some substance to it. So if you want that, I got you covered. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna link the books in the description below so you guys can read what I'm reading, or if it sounded interesting to you, add it to your TBR. No matter how long it is, no matter how big it is, it's never too big. Promise. And I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend and a great week ahead. And I will see you again next weekend. Bye. Lay down. Sadie, lay down. Can you please go lay down? Go lay down. Go on. Yes. Go lay down. Lay down, J-Bug.